Hey everyone, it's been a while since I recorded a video. A lot going on in our personal life, and not much going on in the garden actually. Everything's repotted and doing its thing, so I've not really had much content that I felt was worthy of capturing. So I haven't put anything out for several weeks. And then recently, in the last couple of weeks, started to think, well, why did I start this whole YouTube journey? And I think I've been pretty clear from the start. I've no intention of looking to get monetized. I'm not doing this to get a social media following, and I'm grateful for the people who do follow me and comment on my videos and engage, but that was never the reason why I started capturing these videos. The reason was so that in years to come, I've got a video journal of everything behind me to look back on. And that's really important to me. My dad passed away last year, but he'd had dementia for a number of years leading until he passed away. And these memories are important. So for the last, let's say, week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been thinking, well, don't really have any interest, in my opinion, in content. Everything's been repotted. Other than weeding, I haven't really had a great deal of work to do. Next door's dog doesn't like any noise. So then I got to thinking, actually, I'll show you in a second, a couple of plants are in flower, and I thought, I've got no record that these are flowering to ever look back on. And I started to come up with the idea of maybe I don't need to capture videos where I'm doing something. Maybe I need to capture a video where the plants are doing something, the trees, the shrubs are doing something, because that's ultimately what I'm going to look back on in the future, their development. So I started playing with the idea of doing a video where I capture just what the trees, what the shrubs are doing right now. I have 180 odd. And when I was doing the maths, if I spent 2 minutes talking about each tree, what's that? 6 hours? Plus the setup time and the editing time. It's a lot of work. I might do that. But this is going to be my first stage in that process. I don't know if I'm going to release this video that I'm about to do now in the stages, grouped together. I'm not sure, but the most important thing is I'm going to do something. So what I've done is I've pulled aside several trees, shrubs, that I think are a good starting point for this update video. Theoretically, I would like to work through everything, the good, the bad, the very ugly, the disasters. I'm not sure if I'll do that. We'll see how it goes. So, if you're watching this, thank you. and hope you take something out of it. Right, before I begin, obviously I'm in a new position. I've got my bigger sort of table and setup down that end of the garden, but this has been my working area while the weather's been nice. It's a grim day today. It's actually quite nice, it's cool, but when the sun's been out, this is where I've sunbathed and worked on bonsai at the same time. I'm not sure how well things are going to show because I am, in essence, the background blocking out everything else. So hopefully the detail of the trees is okay. I guess I'll tell once I look back. So I say I've pulled out 6 things for me to talk through initially. Oh, start with the biggest first. So this is a blackthorn, and I think that's about the front there. There's a big chop here which you can't really tell from the way you're looking at it. This had been growing like a weed. So recently, a week ago, I trimmed this right back. I've just added this wire to add a bit more some sort of shape to the trim. What I'm hoping for, and it looks like it's starting, you probably won't be able to see on the camera, is the branches are starting to develop a bit of ramification, so they're going to spread over time. One thing I'm struggling with this particular tree is watering. It's in this very, I don't know if that will show on the camera, very thick, dense sort of substrate that it was in when I picked it up, and I didn't repot it. It's been doing fine, so I didn't see the need. But that does make knowing when to water it quite challenging because it's very sandy. So yeah, interesting. I'll be interested to see how this develops, certainly over the next couple of months, and see what ramification we get. You can actually see it's starting to backbud in multiple places along the trunk, places that I don't actually want it to. So I'm going to actually just remove the ones that I don't want while I'm here, because that's just going to be a waste of its energy, which I'd like its channel. Here. Okay, number 1. Oh, it weighs a ton as well. Let's pop that out of the way there. Okay. This is a tree that I'm sure if you did watch any of my videos, you'll recognise this olive. Everyone said it was going to die after my heavy repot. It has been struggling. It lost quite a few of its leaves. Some of the branches, like here for example, if they aren't dead, they're very close to being dead. However, it seems to be pulling through, and there's actually, you can't see, I'm sure, there's actually some new growth starting. So cautiously optimistic. Can't get it to stay in the position I want, which is frustrating. But to be fair, just let it settle, and if the roots take hold, that's the main thing. Getting the tree in a position that it looks good for the camera is secondary. Well, it's not even a concern right now. But you can see here, look, I'm sure you can see there with me in the background, all of the leaves from the upper part of this branch have been lost, and that branch is actually partly dead at the end. So it has been struggling. It's still not out of the woods, but we'll see. It's not dead yet. I think that was my record video, people telling me it was going to die. Right, another one. This one people didn't tell me it was going to die. People told me to kill it. So this was the one that I had to defoliate, escallonia. I defoliated it, treated it. It was very, very sickly. And no sooner had I defoliated it than it had another secondary trunk here, much smaller trunk, which made it look much nicer. Because I'd put it in a separate area of the garden under quarantine, the dog, who knows why dogs do what they do? The dog basically walked over it and snapped that secondary trunk off completely. So you can see these lower branches, they look dead. But, you know, a few people said just kill it, it's not worth the hassle. It's probably never going to be anything. But it's just nice to see the life in the plant itself. You know, it's still got lots of yellowing leaves, not as many as it had. Probably needs chucking in the ground and left to live its best life. But there we go, still alive and sort of kicking. Right, this was one that inspired me to take this video, because I thought I'm never going to capture such a wonderful bunch of flowers. This is a fuchsia, Cape fuchsia, I believe. This also had a secondary trunk, and when I put this in this pot, which is only 3 or 4 months ago, it was about 3 or 4 inches high. In fact, it was that high, I can see. Now, the secondary trunk never grew. However, all of this growth has come about since spring. Now, unfortunately, we had some really high winds here the other day, and this was blown off the table. So this is actually snapped. Where my finger is there, you can see it's at the right angle. I mean, doesn't mean anything for the future of the tree. I'm going to cut this right back ultimately. Probably already should have done it, but I wanted to let it flower. I wanted to see, you know, this. I wanted to see what it developed into. At some point, this will be cut back hard, and, you know, it'll be encouraged to spread outward. At the minute, it's just got these 2 central holes. But again, we've got some more flowers coming here. That to me says it's happy, and I'm going to leave it be. I probably should take that off actually, now that I've captured it on video. There we go. Many of these haven't even opened, it's a real shame. Sure that'll do my hay fever some good. Right, this is another one that I really wanted to make sure I captured on video. And that would be the front. So this is another... Weeding is a constant bane of my life. So this is another escallonia. I didn't know that at the time. When I got this, this was a massive upright mess. And when I started to hack into it, I was lost at what to do with this. The only thing I could come up with was this sort of cascading style. Has it worked? Time will tell. It needs a lot more growth. It needs to be brought inward as well. But, you know, I repotted it. I did some hard wiring and positioning. And then I just wanted to make sure that it survived. What I actually need to do, and I'll do it once I stop the video, is I need to take all of this wire off. This wire has been on this now for 4 months, 5 months. I checked on this piece and it's definitely set. There's probably going to be a bit of bite, but it is what it is. And then, yeah, let it do its thing and grow, and hopefully get some more branches coming off of these longer branches. Pop that one on the end there. And then I'll save the best for last. So this is my Corkscrew hazel, and the intention was, when I purchased it, to make a cut there and for this to be the entirety of the tree. Not made that cut yet, because I was 90% sure that's what I wanted to do, but there was still a 10% chance that I might want to incorporate this into the design. So all I've done is loosely put in some guide wires to bring these branches inward into some sort of shape. I did a test recently on, I think, this part here. These wires have been holding these branches into place for 8 months now. And as soon as I loosened this, it sprang outward. So, you know, this one holding this one here, I'm sure if I loosen that one, it would spring outward again. So these are going to be on for some time, but they're on loosely. They're not going to bite in any way. I still think, and hopefully it shows on the camera, I'm going to chop it where my hand is there. And this will make a cool looking bonsai. Now I've got no experience with any trees actually. And it's quite a unique leaf. They don't fully open, so they stay quite contorted. Ironic, eh? But I just think with a nice pot, this could look really, really special. That was £25. This was one of the first trees actually when I visited a garden centre. This was when I first really got into bonsai actually last year. This was one of the first trees where I looked at it and my imagination saw something. Everything else, I have to bully my imagination along the way. So yeah, this is something I've high hopes for. Lovely aged bark, lovely movement. The challenge will be getting that movement to set in. Yeah, time to put these back on the bench with all the spiders and beasties. Right. I'm gonna have a look at one more because it looks like it's about to rain and I need some food. So it's this monstrosity walnut tree. When I purchased this, it was twice the height that it is now. So I reduced it by half, and it's got a lot of new growth on this. I don't know if this will show well, and I'll need to lean back. But that whole branch here is new. All of these are new. That one's new. And then this one down at the base, that's all new too. And there's another one popping as well where my finger is. I tried and did not succeed. I got some of the thick, I think it was 6mm wire, and tried to get some movement in this trunk. Didn't happen. Now it's planted at this angle because it fits the curve of the root base quite nicely. I would have loved it for this to appear here somewhere. So now I'm facing a bit of a conundrum, because obviously it's throwing all its energy up to the top, which I don't really want. These two here, still a very long stretch, isn't it? However, in time, with a bit of direction, these could bring the direction back. I've been umming and ahhing at this for some time. But I think I know what I need to do. I'm not ruling out at some point reducing this all the way down to sort of here. But for the moment, that's gone. So that's a lot of beautiful looking tree with multiple bud points removed. But unfortunately, they're not where I need it. So now the question is, will any growth appear lower down. As I say, there's one where my finger is, very close to that one, though maybe in a slightly better position. I think I'm probably going to leave it for now. There's a couple of options that I've got, and if I chop it further, it just removes any option in the future of changing the direction of these branches, and maybe that could be so long, isn't it? Getting the Tony vibes of just chopping it off, but no, I think I'm going to leave it there. I am. I'm going to show you two others. So, let's say I've got about, it's about 190, 200 odd bits and pieces on this bench. I've only had aphids on two things. So this rose has been infested twice. Once a couple of weeks, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and once I noticed again 2 days ago. I don't want all of this growth, but similar to the fuchsia, it's quite nice to see it flower. Ultimately, it's going to get pulled right back in again. But I just want to let it flower. Not the best thing for bonsai, but I think for me, I like sitting in the garden. When I'm working from home, I sit out here on my lunch for half an hour and just watch. What all of these trees have done is bring an enormous amount of insect life into the garden now. You name it, dragonflies, bees, hoverflies, wasps, normal flies, aphids. So it's a constant source of life, which is quite enjoyable. And then the only other thing to get infested was this New Zealand Pittosporum. And I noticed this 2 days ago again when I was just sat here. So that's been treated and they're all gone. But I do find it fascinating that out of everything on 2 big benches, the aphids are somehow drawn to 2 specific plants. It's fascinating. Might as well show a few more while I've got my arm here. Dawn redwood. I'm just letting it do its thing. I'm not trimming this. I'm not wiring it. I'm going to let it grow freely. When I picked this up, this was about that high. So it's getting some good development, which is nice to see. Okay, I do have a couple of eucalyptus trees and they've been absolute disasters. So this chopped off hard, hoping that this would develop. As you can see, it's not developed. Most of this all looks dead now. And what we've got is this new growth coming from the very from the stump. There's every possibility that I'm overwatering these because I don't tailor how I water things. I just do it on the whole scale. So I have no idea what's going to happen with that. They're not even coming from the top of the stump. They're coming from the soil line. So yeah, we'll see. I'll let it do its thing. I doubt this will show on the camera. So I did do a video on a seed kit that I was given as a gift. 4 pots, multiple seeds. I followed all the instructions to the T. Only 1 seed sprouted, and that is still going. Not helped by me dumping it outside. But I figured if it lives, it lives. And it's growing. So yeah, if you're going to buy one of those bonsai gift sets for your friends and family, do it. You get a heavy payoff. Right, one last tree. This is my favourite. Doesn't look in good health. It didn't enjoy the repot. So that there's the front. I'm not sure how well you can see, so I'll just lift the foliage. Wonderful trunk and bark. This was flowering, and I repotted it quite late, and it protested hard, so all of the flowers just went and fell off. I was worried that it was going to die, but we do have some new growth. So all of these rough looking foliage are from the repot, but there's new growth appearing all over, which is green and vibrant. This is I'm never sure how you pronounce it. Wiegala. Wiegala. Correct me if I'm wrong. But structurally, yeah, really, really love that. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. That has had a bit of work done actually, and you're probably not going to be able to see on the camera, but the bark is so rough and follows the line of the tree. It's got a real aged look. So I'm looking forward to working on that one once I know it's secure. One thing I'm probably going to do is take this part of the front off, maybe this part, because it's coming too far forwards. I want it to come up and out and rearwards. So yeah, right, shall I stop the video there? Yeah, I think I'm gonna get indoors, get some food, get ready for the England game. England Slovakia. If anyone's betting, well, this video will go out after the game, I am going to say England 3-0. Right, thank you.